Hello, everyone. So I'm Jose Proença, and I'm here to talk to you about Caos, the Caos toolset. And this is a short tutorial for companion paper at coordination, together with Luc Edihoven. So let's give you first a small overview of what Caos is before having a hands-on session. Caos framework allows you to write in Scala some kind of data structure representing the program you want to investigate. Then you can write some functions that analyze your program, that check the types, that produce some kind of static analysis. And you can further explain how to evolve the configuration of your program. So this is what you describe, and then Caos helps you producing some interactive web front end that looks a bit like this, where you can write some input language and you can collect a set of examples and it will help you producing more widgets that provide different kind of analysis. So basically compiles to JavaScript imported in some HTML format that helps you discuss ideas with your colleagues or present to other people. So why would you want to use Caos? Well, first of all, you want to use Caos if you have some basis of Scala or even Java because it's similar enough. So given that you know how to program in Scala, and you're investigating some kind of program or data structure, some analysis, you want to know how well they behave, if they explode or not exponentially with the state space or something similar, then it might make sense for you to use Caos. So what you want to do? Well, you might want to experiment with new analysis, some statics analysis that gives you some properties of your program to be able to have this quick intuitive feedback. Is it working or not? Is a good analysis? Is something missing? How well does it work? Or you might want to explain or teach ideas to others. So if you're teaching a course and you have some concepts that are not so easy, you might formulate the concept of your data structure in terms of intuitive animators that explain how this works. And this provides some extra tool support. So you can actually provide the visual representations in these UML-like diagrams. We actually use the Mermaid the JavaScript libraries. We can also animate reduction rules. So if you know how to evolve your system, you can define it as a function that says next, and you can somehow present it. And if you have more than one of these reduction rule semantics and you want to compare them, you can also ask it and you'll search for some kind of equivalence, either language-based or by similarity-based. From now on, I'm going to see how to use Caos, and soon I'll jump into our demo session. So you can check all the examples, and this will be our starting point, the website with the README. You have to download the Caos source code. You can either use the Git submodule, or you can just download all the source code into your support directory. You'll use SBT. SBT is like Maven for Java. It helps you building, setting up dependencies and so on. And we're going to use a special compiler to JavaScript. Then the core work will be this fourth point. We're going to create some configuration that links your own code, your own analysis together with the Caos libraries. And then we'll compile to JavaScript and open this tools index file that we already provided that will already be included the JavaScript that's compiled. So let's jump now to this GitHub file. I'll close the slides and jump into the demo. I've already opened the website on GitHub where Caos, all source code of Caos is. And here we're going to follow now the instructions that are here. And we're going to basically replicate this simple lambda calculus example. You can see the full source code here and the expected result. You can open in a new tab where you have a lambda calculus where you can edit, you can change the examples you want to see, and you can run somehow the semantics or simply view the structure of the data type. The first step you have to do is to download everything. In our case, we're going to use just a simple git clone in the dedicated folder. So here's our empty folder and the Explorer. I'm going to create a new library for the lib. And here I'm going to clone the repository. So now I have in my lib folder this Caos library, which is just downloaded, and we're going to start now developing our program. So before we connect to Caos, let's put some basic source code. The project is going to be called Lambda. I'm going to have a package called frontend. We are also going to have a different package called syntax. I'm going to start with the syntax. In the syntax, we're going to create what the program is. And we're going to basically place a very simple program that has data structure called term, consisting of variable, application, or lambda, and some more additional information. For the parser, I'm going to import the parser that I already did that uses parsing combinators, which are not that easy to follow, but once you get used to, they're not so complicated. And now I'm going to finally develop a pretty printer. I'm going to call the class show. And in this class, I'm going to include two functions. A function called code that given a terminal returns a string, and a different one, mermaid, with the same type, but produces the textual information of how to build a mermaid diagram. So it's roughly a diagram similar to how Graphis works. So I have these two pretty printers. I'm ready now to connect. And connect means going to the outside folder on the demo, and I'm going to create the build.spt file. This build.spt file will basically include, as mentioned here in the README, how to compile the Caos libraries and how to compile our main program depending on Caos. So I have some information regarding the name of the project, Scala version, and so on. Now also telling I'm going to compile this class, and I'm going to put the content in the lib/Caos folder in the JavaScript folder. And in this case, I'm going to use this library as well for parsing combinators. So this information I need to put. I just need to include and mention how to get the Scala JavaScript plugin. All this is explained. So at this phase, I'm going to open SVT. I'm going to try to compile it and see if it works. I still need to create the missing file, the main file there. And in this main file, I'm going to create this link. So this is the main file. Let's go slowly what we have here. We have our main application that roughly calls this init site provided by Caos over terms, our lambda terms, and using this configurator. And the configurator describes our website. So we have this configurator that extends the Caos configurator, where we need to provide a name, a language, a parser, when it just developed, a list of examples, and a list of widgets. So in this case, we have three widgets. Widget number one, view parse data, which is a view using the view constructor for both cases to see the pretty data and the diagram using either the toString, the code, or the mermaid. And here we explain what the kind of data type we want to, kind of interpretation we interpreted the string here. I save this file. I'm going back to my SVT and try to compile. So it compiled fine, and the result will be inside our lib/Caos, inside tool, inside the JavaScript. So I can open the index now, and the index will include exactly what you compiled. These three visualizations, including just the toString, the code formatted as code, our show, and also the diagram that we produce using these mermaid diagrams. So now we can go further and implement also the other structures for building the LTS and running the semantics We create a new object called semantics with the right types. We define what accepting states are, what the next states are, giving a set. And once you define this, you need to update our widget list to also, in this case, run the semantics using steps for step-by-step, using diagrams if you change the view, or build a full LTS by compiling all possible lists of states. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this helped.